Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully, you guys are having a lovely Saturday. So, right now, what I'm doing is I am pulling examples basically anywhere and everywhere from the internet that is working on either GED, the ASVAB, the TEAS test, the HESI test, the ACCUPLACER. You may see this in the first part of the praxis. Anything that has to deal with basically algebra, a little bit of geometry, and some other aspects of like basic math. And what we do is we just take a look, you put the answer in the comments, and then I break it on down. It's as simple as that. Nothing crazy, nothing outrageous, just as simple as that. So let's take a look at this first one. So we have 3 to the third power plus negative 2 squared. Is it equal to A, 27, B, 31, C, 25, or D, 24? And if you have the answer, go ahead and put it in the chat. If you're not sure, also put a question mark in the chat. So that kind of gives me an idea of like, all right, how deep do I need to do my explanations? All right, so we have Ricky Brown with a B. Samuel is with a B. My part pi of 314 is saying B. Alex with a B. Miss Lioness is with a B. Ramjet is with a B. Okay, thank you guys for coming on in. I greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's see. So we got mostly that. So, okay, Lo is saying with the B. All right, let's check it out. So 3 to the third power. That means we have 3 times 3 times 3. And we are going to add negative 2 squared. So that means you have negative 2 times negative 2. So 3 times 3 gives me 9. 9 times 3 gives me my 27. Plus negative times negative gives me a positive. 2 times 2, that gives me 4. So now we got 27 plus 4. That simply gives us our 31. So the answer is correct with B. Nicely done. Hey, Fight Doctor, how are you? All right. Oh, my haters are already up here early. That's cool. Okay. So what's my answer if you think it's wrong? Okay. Let me turn a little bit bright light on there. So here we go. Number 2, we have 5. No, just kidding. We just have a 5. What's called 5 factorial. Is the answer A, 5, B, 120, C, is it 5 hundredths, or D, 120 thousandths? What do you think? They be front row, right? Okay, Miss Laws. Oh, I know it's not. It's just hilarious. So let's see. So I have, speaking of C's, I got a lot of C's here. So Miss Lioness with a C, Superstar with a C, One Vice with a 120. Hello, it's been a minute since I've seen you. Okay, Palma is saying C, period is saying B, Big G Money saying B. Dolce, hey, how you doing? It's saying B. Big Al, how are you, my love? You're saying B. Ricky Brown saying B. MK, oh my goodness, how have you been? Haven't seen your name in a while. Oh, and Miss Janice is here. I'm gonna put you on blast, girl. I want to put you on blast. You have no idea. I'm sitting up in this house crying of the joy. Well, Miss Janice passed her math GED. Y'all make sure you give lovely Dimples a shout out right now. I'm pausing my live because I want everyone to give a little congratulations. This woman has been working hard, y'all. When I say hard, for months. Hard work pays off, everyone. Please give her some blessings. Give her some blessings. Okay, if you want to give her some gifts, you want to give her a little shout out, please do that. Okay, because as much as she worked, the same thing should go for you. You put the work in, it is going to happen. All right? It had nothing to do with me. God just put me in her path, and then we just did this, right? So we say, Sugar saying, I need to pass my ASVAB. Okay, well then let's do this. Let's get it on. Let's get it done. All right. So you're trying to tell my GED as soon as possible. I'm so scared. Genevieve, no more fear. You're no longer that little girl when you were learning this math. Okay? I'm going to go back to the live in a second, but I just want to let you know. You are no longer that little girl that was sitting in class when people are like, I get it. Why you're dumb. Because you know what? I was that same little girl in my class. Okay? Different classrooms, different states, different countries. It didn't matter. The feeling was the same. No one should ever feel that they can't do anything. You can. All right? If you need assistance, you can just always ask the questions and do things here. All right? All right. So, okay, revenge star, same thing. You're saying it's giving you headaches? Not a problem. We got this. All right, so let's get going. Okay, we got this, everyone, and that's why you're here. So we have 5 factorial. Factorial is not saying 5 in a very hyper way. 5 factorial means that I'm going to start at 5, and I'm going to multiply all the numbers that are below it, all the way up to 1. So 5 factorial means I'm starting at 5. I'm going to multiply 4, 3, 2, and 1. So 5 times 4, that gives me 20. 20 times 3, that gives me 60. And 60 times 2, that gives me 120. And we know that 120 times 1 is going to give me 120. Okay, so if I ever see like 3 factorial, that simply means I'm doing 3 times 2 times 1. Okay. So for the stars, not so much, but I have tutored people for the stars before. Right, and that's what a lot of people get shifted now. So now it makes sense, right? Because if you've never seen that before, you would have no idea. All right. So even if they try to throw you a little twisted and we say 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial, because sometimes they like to throw some answers or questions like this. If you want, this is what happens. You take it from your 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then you take it over for your 2 and 1, because that's what the 2 factorial is. Guess what? You can cancel those 2 things out, and this will give you the answer of 4 times 3, which equals 12. Okay? So I think once you understand what that factorial exclamation point meant, then you can go ahead and do the math. So for all you math phobic people, you just did some higher level math right there. Yep, look at you. Love it. Okay. All right. So now, let's take a look at number 3. What is the volume of a cylinder with a radius of 4 inches and a height of 6 inches? Is it A, 144 and 4 inches, 10 inch? The B, 250 and 5 tenths of an inch? Is it 301 and 4 tenths of an inch, or 355 and 8 tenths of an inch? Okay, thank you so much for the follows, guys. Yes. So if you like this content and you definitely need follows, please, because I'm going to sprinkle in throughout this day little bits and pieces of what I am working on next. So we have ha is saying C. All right, thanks so much for the follows. Thank you. Join in with the fan club. Nice. My 25th fan. Yay. Okay. Venro is saying my A with the 144.4. Ben is saying C. Cactus Seed, how are you? This is the future of education. Oh, that is a lot of pressure. Thank you for the share, Indian. Thank you so much for the follows. Tough Muffin MG. All right, unsure Linus. Okay, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Okay, but you're saying C. Okay, Gemini with the C. What is this? Fo is saying A. Abby, we got our 96 pi. All right, Dense Cash with B. Okay, it's got your Gemini. Do I do personal tutoring? Yes, I do, Robin. And this is the best time to get me before the insanity begins, which is actually beginning a little sooner than I thought, which is going to start New Year's Eve. Yes, I will be tutoring New Year's Eve. So here we go. All right, so I'm seeing a mixture of A's and B's and C's. All right, let's take a moment. So first off, the formula for volume of a cylinder is basically the area of your base times your height. Now, the area of your base is pi r squared. Okay, that's the area of a circle. And we're going to multiply that by the height. So now they're giving us the radius. The radius is 4 inches. So it's going to write out like this. We have our 4 that's being squared. They told us our height, which is 6. So now, this is the thing that gets a lot of people. 4 squared is not 8. 4 squared is the same as saying 4 times 4, which gives me my 16. Now, 16 times 6, that'll give me my 96 pi. Now, I noticed that my answers are nowhere near, nowhere near have this pi in there. So I'm going to have to convert this pi into the most famous numbers that everyone always uses, 3.15 or 14. What was I thinking? I was thinking something with 5. Telling you. The brain is going. All right, so now we're going to multiply that 3.14 with the 96. And we want to see which one is going to get close to these answers. So 4 and 6, that gives me 24. Carry the 2. 6 and 1 is 6 plus 2 is 8. 6 and 3 is 18 because we didn't have to carry anything over. Now 9 and 4 is 36. Carry the 3. 9 and 1 is 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry the 1. And 9 and 3 is 27. And this will give me 28. All right. First digit is a 4. Then we have our 14. Carry the 1. 8 and 2 is 10. 1 is 11. Carry the 1. And then 8 and 2, that'll be another 10. Carry the 1. And then we have our 3. We have 2 decimal places. We have 0 decimal places. So that means our answer is going to have 2 decimal places. So if I move it over 1, 2, that means my decimal place is going to be in between the 1 and the 4. Once I got this, I usually come up here to see what I can compare to. And my answer would be C. Okay, oops, kind of went a little too far. And my answer would be C. Okay, yes, definitely easier than differential equations. That's why I do not do. Okay, need more practice with it? Okay, that'll work as well. All right. So can I try, wait, where'd it go? With the 22 sevenths? Okay, so let's see. Let me put it on my little swing over here and switch colors. So if I had my 96, I'm going to start from here. So instead of the 3.14, someone asked if I can do it with the 22 sevenths. So in order for us to multiply a whole number with a fraction, trying to squeeze it on in there, I'm going to see, because I can't really divide this evenly. Yeah, that's going to give me a decimal. So that means I need to put this 96 over 1. Ugh. And then we're going to have to multiply the 96 times the 22. Okay, I'm going to use calculator for this one. So we got 2212 divided by 7. Ugh. I'm sorry. No, that'll work. So if anything, I'm going to use my paper real quick. So we are taking our 2,112. And if we divide it by 7, it's not too bad. This actually works. So how many 7s can go into 2? None. How many 7s can go into 21? 3. All right. So when I'm seeing that 3, I can go to my answer choice, and I know I would easily eliminate A and B because we're starting off with 3s. So now bring my 21. Okay, that gives me a 0. Bring down my 1. But how many 7s can go into 1? 0. So now we're going to bring down the 2. So how many 7s can go into 12? That'll be 1. And from there, I see the 301. That's will give me my answer choice of C. Okay. So I forgot who asked for it. Forgot who asked for it. But yes, you can do it with the 22 7s if you wish. Just have to multiply the numerators and then divide by 7. Okay. So if you divide 22 and 7, you will get basically the roundish part of pi. There it was. Okay. Made it clear. Not a problem. So if you do the calculation of 22 divided by 7, that would get you close to pi. Okay? Because remember, pi is really never ending. So that's like the fraction form of pi, the 22 7ths. Okay, gotcha. All right. Hey, Cotton Candy, how are you? So now this one gives us a little terminology. Will you see something like this on the test? You might if it's a little more advanced with the ASVAB. So like if you're in those 90s or higher, okay, especially if you're going to Navy, they might whip one of these lovely questions out there. GED, not so much, okay, not so much. So in the logarithm, so 4 and 4.83723, what is the 4 called? Okay, what is that leading number called? I want to see how many people know it. If you don't know it, don't feel foolish. Do not. Don't feel foolish. Do not. Because this is not like common rules. I'm just kind of curious of what people will say. Okay, so we got some C's, we got some D's, got some B's, we got some C's. If you don't know, go ahead. If you want to guess, go ahead. Okay, a whole log. Okay, we got the MANS, we got the whole log. Okay, what math is this? We're preparing people for either the ASVAB or the GED. So it's a combination of some Algebra 1, Algebra 2. All right, a little bit of geometry, a little bit of rock and roll. Okay, you thought it was like the whole leg. Okay, so you're guessing A. All right, so the number that is in front is called the characteristic, D. Now, a lot of you guys that were saying the mantissa is what's after the decimal place. That's what that is. So now you just learned something new. I know. Every time I look at this problem, I'm like, yeah, didn't know that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, I knew that from the very beginning because I'm just a math genius. I'm not even going to try to say that. Oh, what's going on here? All right, so welcome on in, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know this is usually the weird time, like after the Christmas hype and then trying to get yourself ready for the new year. Or maybe you're finally actually able to celebrate Christmas today. Who knows? All right, So we all learn something new every day. So take a look at number 5. Solve for x. We have 3/4 of 68 plus 1/4 x equals 70. So if we want to solve for x, is x A, 42, B, 76, C, 53, or D, 81? Okay. All right, so let's go. Let's see. And if you're not sure, that's fine. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Calc or no calc? What do you mean? Rose, I must have missed your beginning question. Where am I? I don't know. Home, I hope. Okay, does this apply to any decimals regardless of the length? Any decimals regardless of the length? Yes, regardless of the length. All right. I know, you probably just got into the rabbit hole. Hello, Sharon. How are you? Okay, so we have some Gemini with C, Abby with C, Katie's saying 76, okay, which is B. We have ZMW is saying B, okay, using calculator. Right now, no, just that last problem I wanted to, because I didn't want to take too much time. Abby, I see your C, I got you. It's me is saying B, Yvette saying B. Jenny! Happy holidays to you, Jenny. Love that. Genuine confused. Okay, I got you. 888. Okay. Ellie was saying B. I'm stuck with C. Benza. Fishing Phil. How are you, Fishing Phil? Let's see what B. Person is saying, is it B? Okay. Javar is saying C. Talon is saying B. Rihanna 76. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting everybody as best I can. Ada is saying B. Hey, Bobby, thank you for your honesty. Okay, it might be B. We're seeing B. We're seeing D's. We're seeing some A's. All right, so let's take a gander. All right, so first off, we need to know what 3/4 of 68 is. So I know if I divide my 68 divided by 4. So how many 4s can go into 6? I got 1, which will give me 4. So 6 minus 4 gives me 2. Bring down the 8, got 28. So how many 4s can go into 28? There's 7. Okay, so when you're multiplying a fraction with a whole number, I usually like to divide the whole number with whatever your denominator is. That's where this 17 came from. Now that 3 is going to come on down. And then I bring everything else down. That is equal to 70. So now, someone was trying to call in. Of all the technology that's in here, like TikTok, figure out a way when you go live, everything should be shut down. All right, so 17 times 3, that will give me my 51. Bring in my 1/4 x equals 70. So if I subtract both sides by the 51, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to isolate our variable. Okay, we got our 1/4 x, and that equals our 19. So now I want to get rid of this 1/4. 1/4 is basically division. Opposite division is multiplication. So I want to multiply both sides by whatever my denominator is. So it's going to be the 4s. This 4 and this 4 are going to cancel out because 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. But instead of writing the 1, I can bring down this x. 1x and x means exactly the same thing. So now we're going to multiply 19 and 4. So 4 and 9, that gives me 36. Carry my 3. 4 times 1 gives me 4 plus 3 will give me 7. So x is equal to 76. All right. Hey, Lynette, how are you? Don't forget to tap, tap, tap. I know, for some reason, I don't know. I just feel like, so, you're a soldier? Am I a soldier? No. Have I dated a few soldiers in my lifetime? Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that I was like, taking over the whole armed forces, because I'm not a hoe. But yeah, just a regular civilian. All right, just a regular civilian. Subaru's right to change. Yes, there we go. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's some people that like to venture that way. All right. So now we're going to do a little bit of geometry, just a little bit, just a taste. So it says, what is the sum of the angle measures of a hexagon? Is it A, 360, B, 540, C, 720, or D, 900? Okay, I know we're like, hexagon, why, Audrey, why? It's gonna be okay, guys. It's gonna be fashionably fine. So let's see what you guys can get. Just think about it. So we want the sum of the angle measures of the hexagon. So we're definitely talking about the interior. We're definitely talking about the interior. Okay. You're going to ask ChatGPT. Yeah, they'll know the answer. But we're going to have to figure it out. Ooh, how it's like 360 is a circle. Okay. All right, so Timothy said like 120. Okay, every triangle is 180. Ooh, who is this little evil genius? Tape X. 428. Okay, Michael's saying C. The baddest is saying C. Okay, the equation left. Okay, so star volleyball. Nice one. Okay, Rihanna saying 720. Okay, user 33 saying C. Cassie C. SM double D saying A. Okay, Naomi, you're saying which is 720. Okay, all right, so Star, you're saying with the 720. Genevieve is saying C. All right, so let's take a look. Now, hexagon. Okay, hex rhyming with, I hate to say it, with the S word, but back in the day, hexagon used to be called sexagon. Look it up. All right, that means I'm going to have 6 sides. All right, so I'm going to try my absolute best to try to draw a 6-sided figure. Not too shabby. Now, just like, what was his name? Or what was her name? What was the name that just set it up? Let's go tape. There he goes. Tape X. I remember that. So Tape X is saying, well, every triangle is 180 degrees. And it's perfect. So this is why that formula works. So from one of the, I'm going to use this vertex. For one of the vertices, I can create triangles. Okay, I can create some triangles. So I have one triangle here, another triangle here, another triangle here, another triangle there. We notice that a hexagon is 6 sides, but I developed 4 triangles. So it's the number of sides minus 2. And we all know that a triangle measures 180 degrees. So this is 180, this one's 180, this is 180, and this is 180. So that's where that lovely formula of n minus 2 times 180 comes from, or 180 times n minus 2. Okay, the minus 2 is you're going to have 2 less triangles based on the number of sides that you have, right? So since we know that we're going to have 4 triangles, we're going to take our 180 times by 4. 4 and 0 gives me 0. 4 and 8 gives me 32. Carry the 3. 4 and 1 gives me 4 plus 3 gives me 7. So your answer is going to be C, which is 720. Okay? So not only that you have like, oh, I know the formula, but there's going to be people on here that's going to try to get their GED, trying to advance a little bit on the ASVAB, and they've been out of school for a while. Like, since they were a fetus, like, you know, they have no idea. So they're like, oh, I remember the formula. If you can create the less number of triangles, you can get it that way, and you know each triangle is worth 180 degrees. All right? All right. Let's take a gander. So the next one, we got a mini novel. Oops. I don't know what's happening here. Okay. Things are just in the way. I have no idea. In order to determine the diagonal of a rectangle, the formula is d squared equals L squared plus W squared, where D, the diagonal, L is the length of the rectangle, and W is this width. If D equals 5 and L equals W plus 1, what is the width of the rectangle? Is it A3, B4, C5, or D6? What was the answer for the last one, Sharon? It was C, 720. It was 720. Yep, so it's always going to be 2 less triangles. So even if you had an octagon, that means you're going to have 2 less of those sides. So octagon is 8 sides. Minus 2 will give you 6. So all you have to do is just do 6 times 180. All right? Hertz, how are you? Brah, what's up? God step ya. Huh? Huh, what? This is what happens when you come late to class. You're trying to figure out. It's almost like you go into the movie, you got there at the last 5 minutes, and you're like, so what happened? Like, obviously, it's going to be crazy. But don't worry. I'll show you where to go to watch the earlier replay. Okay? All right. Is this Algebra 2? It is a mixture. It is a mixture of Algebra 1, Algebra 2, a little bit of geometry, a little bit of probability. It's all in there. Okay? All right. Unsure? I got you. Sorry, my computer is just being very weird. Getting all these different things. All right, so we got some A's, we have some 3's, we have some 25's. We're saying C or D. Okay, Sharon's saying D. All right, Timothy, we're saying A. A few follows. Thank you so much for the follows. Okay, Smokey Judge is saying 3. Nope, it's not the reasoning. It's actually the math knowledge. So that's what we're working on right now. Okay. All right, so let's take a gander. So they're giving us the formula. So they're saying if my D is going to equal 5, so that means we're going to replace the D with a 5, and that's going to be squared, equals my L squared, and my L is going to be W plus 1, and that's being squared, plus my W squared. Okay, so we're following along with the equation that they gave us, and we're just doing the substitution. Now, when we get into it, we have 5 squared, so that gives us our 25. Now, our W plus 1 is being squared. Anytime you are squaring an expression, you have to write that bad boy down as many times the exponent tells you. So we're going to have to do FOIL, or distributive property, or if you know the shortcut, we can go through the shortcut, but I'll show you that in a moment. So now inside, we need to do distributive property. So W times W, that gives me my W squared. The same W times 1, that will give me 1W, or just W. Now you got to do the same thing with the 1. You got to distribute to everything in the parenthesis. It's almost like you have candy and there's 5 of your friends and you only give candy to 4 of your friends. What do you think that 5th friend's going to do? If they're still friends over candy. But still, that's kind of rude. Make sure you share to everyone. So 1 times W gives me W. 1 times 1 gives me 1. Now everything else comes on down. All right. So now I need to combine like terms. So I have my like terms with the 2 W's as well as the 2 W squareds. So when I do that, I'm going to have 2 W squared plus 2W plus 1. But we all know anytime we have something that is raised to the second power, that means I need to move or make this equation equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract this 25. And it's going to make life a little bit easier. You're going to see in a moment. So now we have our 2W squared plus 2W minus 24. Okay, so let me pause right here. Okay. So when we get to here, we can, if you want, see which one of these 3 or which one of these answers, if I plug them into this, would give me 0. So I could stop right here. If I wanted to continue to factor to find out what W equaled, I can do that too. But I think time-wise, it would be a lot easier to plug in. So I could have plugged in right here from the very beginning. So if I plug in a 3 for the W's, I will have 3 squared, which gives me 9. So that means I have 2 times 9. Let me put it on my little piece of paper. So then I have 2 times 9 plus 2 times 3 minus 24. Well, 2 times 9 gives me 18. 2 times 3 gives me 6. Minus 24. 18 plus 6, that gives me 24. 24 minus 24, that gives me 0. And that's what we're looking for. So you have your answer of A. If you didn't like doing all of this fun stuff, not a problem. Because we're all learned differently. We could, from the very beginning, handle our 5 squared, which was our 25, and substitute 3's in for the w's to see which one will work. So inside here, you would have had 3 plus 1 squared plus 3 squared. Well, 3 plus 1, that gives me 4. That gives me 4. Give me an answer of 25. So 4 squared gives me 16. And 3 squared gives me 9. 16 plus 9, 25. So that means when we plugged in the 3, it gave us our correct answer. Okay? So I just showed you, weirdly, 3 different ways of answering this question. All right? So you could plug in as soon as you figure out what was happening in blue. You could continue to solve if you're really quick with solving, to solve for W, or you can plug and chug. All right? Okay. Okay, you see it now. All right. You like the second one better? Of course. Because we have to remember that this is going to be a time test. And sometimes I get a little carried away with the math because, I've just been busy with math for the past how many weeks. All right. So with 8, what is the length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle if the legs are 5 inches and 6 inches? Is it A, 6.7 inches? Is it B, 7 8/10 inches? Is it C, 8 1 inch? Or is it D, 9 inches? Okay. Oh, you didn't disrespect anyone, loose head. But now that you wrote a comment, now I'm in your algorithm. Hi, bestie. Yes, we are going to be doing Pythagorean's theorem. So Michael is saying it's B. I know, right? But I'm glad that you're here. Even if you just want to stop in and you want to skedaddle, that's fine. But if you guys are anyone that's trying to get your GED or you're trying to get your ASVAB and you're just like, yeah, one day, well, your one day is now. You can do it. Okay? Okay, so you can definitely do it. All right, so Pythagorean's theorem. Isn't God awesome? That's what I'm saying. Isn't God awesome? That's what I'm saying. Is there equals C squared? Now, here's a little visual. So that only works for right triangles. The side that is directly across from that 90 degree, that is your hypotenuse. So that will be represented by C. That's your longest side. The other 2 sides, they're called your legs. Okay, I think a lot of people just know them, that they're there, but no one knew what their words were or their full definition. So your legs, it doesn't matter which one's your A and your B. So that's why I'm just going to write A/B because they're interchangeable. But they're giving you one of your legs is 5 inches, the other leg is 6 inches. So if I'm plugging it in to our lovely little equation, that means we could say we have 5 squared plus 6 squared equals our hypotenuse squared. Now, in order to get C by itself, I have to do the opposite of the square. And the opposite of a square is called the square root. This is the only way that the square and the square roots will cancel each other out so we can get C by itself. So that means we have the square root of 25 plus 36. And 25 plus 36 gives us a nice 61. Sorry. And 61 is not a perfect square root. Not at all. But thinking about our square roots, because sometimes I'm going to tell you, when it comes to the GED, the ASVAB, and the ACCUPLACER, you really can't use a calculator. So that's why you see me doing a lot of these by hand. But if I think about my perfect squares, I know that 61 is going to be between, not 6 and 6, 7, 7. It'll be between square root of 49 and square root of 64. So the square root of 49, that's 7. Because that's the same as saying 7 squared. 7 squared is the same as saying 49. Square root of square root of 64 is 8. Because if I did 8 squared, that would give me my 64. So that means the square root of 61 is somewhere between 7 and 8. So knowing that, I'm taking a look. And the only numbers that's between 7 and 8 is B. Because if you're going to sit here, you're going to be like, well, how am I supposed to know? Try to know your perfect square roots. Because when you know your perfect square roots, try to figure out where this will fall in between. This will fall in between. They're not going to give you, like that down. Okay? It's not going to be 6.7, Julian. I know, because you just want to say that word. All right. All right. So let's see if we can get a couple more in, and then we're done for today. So if you are enjoying the video, hey, I greatly appreciate it. But if you're thinking about getting your GED, I am going to be releasing I'm going to have to take this off the cup for a second. So I am going to be doing a pre-sale because I am going to be launching my own workbooks. Because again, not only with Janice passing, last week I got word that 3 of my students that needed to pass their college algebra, they passed their class as well. I have another person that passed his ASVAB last week. So not last week, the week before. And then I have a couple people taking it this month. And not this month, sorry. I have one person taking it January. So I'm looking at my calendar. I forgot I fast forward everything. So if you are just want to get yourself started, get yourself building your confidence up, I put together a mini pack. The link is in my bio. I'm going to have to say it. So it gives you a whole flashcards because I'm doing flashcards. I'm doing assessments. I have one assessment, which is a mini assessment with the answer key, as well as I have flashcards and I have a couple sets of flashcards in there. So just to kind of give you some started, and also resources, like some of the resources that I put in the back of my notebooks that's going to help you with translating word problems into expressions and equations. And also the flashcards is going from verbal to algebraic. If you're interested in it, it is $5, and I'm going to have it all the way to January 3rd. So I'm going to have this open for 1 week and 1 week only, because I will be launching my workbooks, especially the first 5, on next Saturday. I know, I'm excited because this is something that can be helpful for those that really love my instruction, but they just can't afford my one-to-ones. I totally get it. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the workbooks a little bit more later on. But if you want to do a mini pack, It is there, okay? So the link is in my bio. All right, back to our little sidetrack with notes. I tried to make it smaller, but for some reason it was like, no, we want to make a nice large pop-up. So, number 9, if you were here earlier, you should be able to solve this. Let's take a look. Let's see. Okay, so we have 4 factorial, not 4, divided by 3 factorial. Is your answer A, B, C, or D? Okay, now if you weren't here earlier, I will show you. I will show you. How much is my 1-to-1s? I normally do my 1-to-1s at 92, but for my TikTok followers, I've dropped it down to 77. Okay. Abby, you're back again. All right, Jenny saying B. D degree is saying B. Michael saying B. Why there's an exclamation point? I know, it's screaming at you. You want to say it's B? Well, then say it. I just say it. Okay, Kiss for Life is saying B. Everything cancels out but 4. So 4 over 1. All right. Okay, Love saying B. Abby, you think it's A or B? Okay, so we got our B's. All right, well, let's take a look. The factorial means that when I see 4 factorial, that means I'm taking this 4 and I'm multiplying all the numbers, whole numbers, all the way up to 1. That's what 4 factorial means. 3 factorial means I'm going to start at 3 and I'm going to take all the whole numbers all the way up down to 1. So what's happening here? We could do all that multiplying, but why? When we have the same numbers in the numerator and denominator, we can cancel those bad boys out. And then what's left? 4 is left. That means my answer is B. Okay? Another way of writing it, you could say 4 times 3 factorial, because this is when it gets a little more advanced. Since you know your denominator is a 3 factorial, that means the 3 factorials can cancel out. And then you also will get 4. So for those people that are like, I can't do advanced math, that's too hard. Look, you just did some advanced math. Yes. Okay, so the exclamation marks are called factorials. So the number in front of it, that's where you start. So for the 4 factorial, we're going to start at the 4. And then we're going to multiply the whole numbers that are descending from the 4 up to 1. So we're starting at 4, then we go 3 times 2 times 1. 3 factorial, that means I'm starting at 3 and I'm multiplying the whole numbers that are less than 3 all the way up to 1. So that gives you the 3, starting at 3 down 2 to 1. So since we're dividing, remember, numbers, if they're the same, they're going to give you ones. So 3 divided by 3, that gives you a 1. 2 divided by 2, that gives you a 1. 1 divided by 1, that gives you a 1. And anything multiplied by 1 is itself. So the only thing that was left was that 4. You could say 4 over 1, but 4 over 1 is just 4. Okay? Much easier. Double digit factorial, you're going to do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same. So if it's 23 factorial, that means you're starting at 23 and you're counting it on down to 1. Have fun with that. That's not me. Right? Okay. So that was like more of a algebra 1. It's like second semester algebra 1. All right. So now for this next one, we're going to solve for x. Okay, so x minus 31 3/4% of x is equal to 174. So is your answer A, 174 7/10, B, 155 3/10, C, 255 and 5/10, or D, 261 and 8/10? What do you see? You're laughing at the problem. You're not by yourself, darling. You're not by yourself. Okay. I think this is the one that I saw. Oh, this is the one. I'm so sorry. This was the one that I actually spoke to the person. They forgot it's supposed to be a 0.4. Yeah, it's supposed to be 174 and 4/10. Yeah, because they forgot. I know. When I see like stuff online and I don't, I'm just like, there's an error, I think. And I actually go to the person that posted it. Sometimes I hear from people because, people post stuff online and they just let it die and they think it dies, but it doesn't. It just keeps resurfacing. But this person I was able to get in touch with, it was supposed to be a 0.4. Okay. Yes, my cat. All right. So I'm seeing some A's. I'm seeing some C's. I have a D. I went to purchase my book, but the thing to download it. Yeah. If you're talking about my notebook, I did get rid of the downloaded notebook. But there are more stuff that's coming out, which by next week, actually. It's a whole entire series. I think people will call it a learning system. Like everything from A to Z. And just get straight to. Okay, you divide the 3 and the 4, right? You could. You can make life a lot easier for yourself. Okay, a lot easier for yourself. Okay, so you purchased the downloadable, or did you purchase the book, Tasty Hope? Like the actual book. 1 second. Because the downloaded links, I got rid of those months ago. So there shouldn't even be any downloaded links. If anything, just message me, and then we'll get that taken care of this afternoon. All right, so first thing, we have the 31 3/4%. So let's do a little bit of movement here. I'm going to give myself some space this time. So, there we go. So we have our x minus. Now 31 3/4, that's the same as 0.75. Because 3/4 is equivalent to, say, if you think of quarters, 3 out of 4 quarters. So 75 cents. But we need to do a percent. So we need to get rid of this percent. So that means I need to move this decimal place over 2 times. So it's actually going to be x minus 0.3175 x, and that's going to equal my 174 and 4/10. Okay. So since they were asking for a percent, we need to change that percent to a true decimal. So once we change that 3/4, this is this, which gives me my 0.75. Then we move the decimal place over to the left to change it from a percent to a true decimal. Okay. Okay, so we have to get it out from a percentage. See the percent sign? Okay, we have to make it into a true decimal. So now, this x, there is a 1 that's in front of that x. So we're saying 1 minus this 0.3175. So if I may, I think I have a little bit of room on my little side paper. So it's almost like I have my 1 minus, and then I have my 0.3175. So that means I need my 4 zeros. Okay, so I need those 4 zeros. So if I'm subtracting these two, I know I'm going to borrow from this 1. This is going to be a 10. This is going to be a 9. This is going to be a 9. And this is going to be a 9. This is going to be a 0. So 10 minus 5 gives me 5. 9 minus 7 gives me 2. 9 minus 1 gives me 8. And 9 minus 3, that gives me 6. And I bring down the decimal point. Because when you're adding and subtracting decimals, they have to line up. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of movement with this problem. First, we had to change the 3/4 to a decimal, which I did. That's where the 0.75 came from. Then I had to convert this from a percent to its true decimal. So that means I have to move it 2 decimal places over to the left. That's how you convert from a percent to a decimal. That's where the 0.3175 came from. Now we have like terms. They both are associated with an x. The 1 is a whole number and the 0.3175 is a decimal. So in order for me to subtract those two, I had to write it out. I got my whole number of 1 minus my decimal. So my decimal points have to line up. So now I need to borrow. If I'm going to borrow from the 1, this needs to be a 10, and all these will be 9s, except for that one. That'll be a 0. So when I do the subtraction, I have my 0.6825. That is representing right here for the x. And that's going to equal my 174.4. Okay. How'd you get 75%? 3/4. 3/4 is 0.75. Okay, thank you once called. Appreciate you. All right, so now we want to get x by itself. So we have to divide both sides by my decimal. And this is when it gets scary. So then we have our x. And then if you don't recall, if you try to do this by hand, which I'm not going to, but if you try to do this by hand, you got to remember your divisor can never be a decimal. You're going to have to move this decimal point over 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So if you move decimal place over 4 times in the divisor, you have to move the decimal point in the dividend at the same amount of times. Okay? So if you were to divide it, it's going to look like this. So it'll be 6,825 because I moved it over 4 times. So that means we have, so if I move it over 1, 2, 3, 4 times, then I'll add my decimal place. Okay, so if I have to move my decimal place over 4 times to the right in the divisor, I had to do the same thing 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the dividend. Okay, that's crucial. But based on time, we're going to end. Are they going to give you something this ginormous in GED? No. Are they going to give you something this ginormous for the ASVAB? maybe for later on. And especially if you're trying to go Navy, you might see something like this because they do a lot of calculus. Okay? So roughly your answer is going to be okay, 255 and 5311 10,000ths. So what will come close to that? It will be C. Okay. If you didn't want to do all the conversions, but the one conversion you will have to do is this part right here. You would definitely have to change that from a percent to a true decimal. If you're thinking about substituting numbers in, you can do it that way as well. Okay? Yep. Now, the reason why I'm moving the decimal over, Hope, is because when you're dividing with decimals in there, you can't have decimals in your in your divisor. You have to make this divisor into a whole number. That's why I'm moving decimal places over. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Couple more. Okay, so now for number 11, we have 4 raised to the negative second power. And we just need to know what our answer is. Is it A, 16, B, negative 16, C, 1/4, or D, 1/16? Little anxiety, any advice? Breathe. Seriously, you're taking your test. My thing is, when you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, I gotta pass it, I gotta pass it, I gotta pass it, you're not gonna pass it. I'm just gonna be real with you. So if you have been cracking open the book, you have been making your own flashcards, you have been, paying attention, maybe seeing some lives, and you're starting to understand how it flows, you're going to be fine. But if you're taking your GED, I think you're saying GED or an ASVAB. Sorry. Remind me which test you're taking. I'm going to try to go back up again. Okay. Oh, thank you, Genevieve. Screaming, tell me, which test are you taking? There we go. Daily ASVAB. Okay. So major part, don't skip anything that has to deal with the equation of the line, anything that has to deal with slope. Because remember, you don't have to get 100 on it. Okay, so 1, breathe. 2, if you understand your basic concepts, understand slope, equation line, system of equations, when you have like 2 equations going on, like what's the graph looking like? I'm not sure what job you're trying to go for. Like what score are you trying to go for? Because that's another reason. Okay, you know all your formulas. Okay, good. Now what score are you trying to go for? Okay, so we got our B's, we got our D's. Okay, 110. Okay, so if you're going 110, that means, well, that's someone else. But if you're trying to get above a 31, anything dealing with slope, system of equations, knowing your area and circumferences, and it also helps with knowing your probability and just like your basic geometry. But if you also understand volume and know the volume of a rectangular prism and cylinder, rectangular prism, and a cube. Okay, if you can get those down, that'll be great. That's going to be very helpful to you. All right, you don't need pre-calculus. No. All right, so we have 4 raised to the negative second. Anytime you have a negative exponent, it needs to either drop or raise in order for it to be positive. So if I'm looking at 4 raised to the negative second, we're going to put it over 1 because anything divided by 1 is itself. But for us to get rid of this negative exponent, I need for it to switch. So that means the 1 is going to be on top and the 4 is going to be down, but the 2 is now going to turn positive. So now we have 1 over 4 squared, and 4 squared is 16. So your answer for this one is 1/16. Okay. All right. Got it? Awesome. Okay, so you're going for 31. Okay. All right. Well, if you start seeing area, if you start seeing volume, you're doing great. Okay, because remember, it's a progression type test. So as you're working with the basic concepts, 1, breathe. 2, just do it. Just go in there and just do it. Don't even overthink it. Okay. All right. Okay, so Cole, what's the problem? Someone being negative. It's all right. It's their prerogative. Yeah. But at the same time, let's go with this one. You know, we're all learning, we're all doing. I just like to say, let my haters be my motivators. Keeps me going, keeps me fresh, keep me alive. All right. So if 3 raised to the n equals 9 and 4x minus n equals 6, what is the value of x? Is it A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, or D, 5? Jess, how was it 16? It's not 16, it's 1/16. It was 1/16. So the answer was D. Okay, Michael's saying A. Okay, Cole saying A. Hey, Kaya, how are you? Saying 2. Catamine Zoo is saying 2. Loops is saying A. How are you? User 99 saying 2. Who's this? You're going to have to help me with this. Floats is saying 2. Kiss is saying 2. Ramu is saying A. All right. Is saying A. Good. Kiss for Life is saying A. You have no clue. Okay, I'm going to walk through it. Do you have a problem for saying it first? Not really. Okay, how are people working this out so fast? Okay, we're going to walk you through it. Relax, relax. Okay, remember, I am going to be here to break it on down. Okay, you can't compare yourself to other people because everybody is at different levels in here. Okay, everyone's at different levels, so don't worry. Don't let that little girl come screaming at you. It's okay. All right, so I'm seeing some 2s, we're seeing some A's. We got Winston's, we got Sherry, we got 3 teacher 1, Cedric, we got that. Shakita. Hello. Did you get word? This is making me crazy. Just want to make it official. Okay, so you were saying that, but you don't know? All right, so let's take a look. So we know 3 to the what power will give me 9? Okay, so Yep, Jen gives me A. So 3 to the what power gives me 9? Okay, they love, thank you. So since we know that 3 squared gives me 9, that means n is equal to 2. Okay, we got that from this little bit of information here. So now we're going to take this 2 and we're going to plug it in for the n in the equation. So it's going to look like this. So we have 4x minus the 2, and it's going to equal 6. So now we're going to solve this top equation. So let me cover this part up, because they want to know what is the value of x. If they said what is the value for n, we already got that answer. That's done. But they want to know for x. So you can do one of two things. You could probably take these answers and plug them in for x to see which one will give you a true statement, or you can do the algebra. So doing the algebra is I'm isolating my x. Right now, you're the x, 4 is your boo. All right, here comes -2 trying to put their 2 cents in, try to break up your relationship. So what do? We counteract it. We be positive. Go away. Leave us be. We're just here partying. All right, so now I'm bringing my 4x. You and your boo is by itself. And now the 2 is bonding with number 6. That's how they got 8. So now 4 is your boo. They're acting up. So what do? We divide them out of our lives. We do not stay in toxic relationships. Let it go, people. Don't just do it for the kids. That's my little 2 cents, because it's not going to be any good. So now we have 8 divided by 4, which gives us 2. They ask for what x is going to equal, and you found it. It's going to equal 2. Now, if you wanted to do the substitution, you could plug the 2 in for the x. So 4 times 2 gives you 8. Minus 2, it does give you 6. Awesome. It worked. Circle it, bubble it, click it. Move on to the next problem. All right. Okay. All right. Lisa, hey. So how did I get n equals 2? So the first part is saying that 3 raised to the n equals 9. Well, I know that 3 squared equals 9. So that is replacing the n. Okay. All right. Oh, you got an 81. Thank God for me, girl. You did the work. You did the work. I'm so happy for you. All right, so let's take a moment. Miss Shakita has passed her college algebra class. Praise be. Little congratulations. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. Also, Miss Janice is in here. She passed her GED. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. Okay? I love how everybody's like, let's celebrate, but you using my platform to use Cash App. How you gonna come on my live begging for money, knowing that my ass is broke? Come on. What are we doing? I love it. Like, I mean, hey, I cannot disrespect the hustle. That's how life is. This is where we at. At least you're trying to be honest as best as you can. You know, whatever foolishness you want to put. But damn, like, you just coming up on my live. just coming up on my live, just trying to control things. Y'all so crazy. All right. Anywho, couple things before I get into that. If you need any of my replays, this is where you guys can go. Okay, you can go here. I can't say this word, God forbid, make everything shake. All right, so thank you so much for the stuff. But you can go there, go to this channel. Okay. And then if anything, I would love for you guys to subscribe. I'm only a few people away from 1,300. That's the most I've ever had, like ever. This is crazy. And like people are actively watching things, which is awesome. And you will actually see a playlist that says TikTok Lives. It has all of my lives from February 2nd. I can't believe I've almost been doing this for almost a year. What? So crazy. But that's where you can go to get the lives. Give me some time to download it off of here to put it up there. But all of my replays are there. Some of them are just like what we're doing today with the practice stuff. And some of them I actually did individualized, like how to do factoring, how to do with exponents, how to do system of equations. If any of those things that you need, it's free. Go. Watch, okay? But if you're thinking about getting your GED and you want to support, hey, this will be awesome. I created a $5 mini pack. So it comes with a sample assessment that I created that is great for GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER, TEAS test. So it's a nice surrounding of things. And you will also get an answer key as well as a packet of my matching cards, which is called from verbal to algebraic. So to help you with those word problems, like which words and what phrases go with which algebraic expression. So I have a whole pack of those. The really retail price of that, and plus you also get the resource pages that's in connection to like finding your formulas for slope, finding your formulas for exponents, and the area and circumference of, circles, squares, rectangles, all of those basic things. Normally that would have been easily like a $42 value. I'm selling it for $5 just for this week only. So January 3rd, it's going to be gone. Like it's going to be gone, because in its place is going to be the new my workbook series. Okay, so I have more flashcards coming on there. If you're not good with your squares and square roots, I got you. Your cubes and cube roots, I got you. Your multiplying and dividing integers, I got you. Okay, going from exponent flashcards, all those different flashcards, as well as workbooks. So workbooks, and it's going to be a 15 workbook series. I'm only opening up the first 5, and that's going to be happening January the 3rd. First one is probably going to be out in Amazon in the next couple of days. And it's really slow when it comes to them. But, you have to give 3 days and all this fun stuff. But it's all jam-packed. I actually have a section where you just scan the QR code, just like how I used to do for the Audrey's notes. But it's all organized. I give you a place for you to take down your own notes. I give you extra practice problems. And at the end of the volume, I give you a sample test of what you just learned in that volume. And then I have a pack of not 1, not 2, but 6 mock tests that you can use. And it's literally a mock test of GED, ASVAB, ACCUPLACER. Yes, this is what happens when you leave me alone and I stay up for like 2 to 3 days at a time. How you doing? Okay. So those are going to be the things that's all going to be released. I know there's a lot of people that want the tutoring, because it was starting to break my heart when people were just like, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. So I was like, look, I got to put something together that everybody can afford. It could be used by teachers. It could be used by homeschool parents, but I really wanted to focus it on my adult learners. So you'll probably see GED, ASVAB. This is basically a workbook for adult learners. But if it's somebody that is struggling with algebra, this is going to be the best workbook for you, because not only do you get just answer keys, you'll give an opportunity for me to actually break down the extra problems and the summative assessment. And I usually have that as an upgrade for like $5, like $5.99, I think it was exact. So, and you could basically getting a tutor for way less than what I offer for you guys, and way less than 77. So, and then you get to pick what areas you need help with. If you know you struggle with slope, get the volume with slope. If you know you struggle with system of equations, get the volume with the system of equations. If you know that you suck at graphing, well, you're going to see graphing throughout. But if you know that you struggle with the geometric part of it or the probability section, instead of you buying the whole entire book, I broke it down into small section volumes that you can purchase individually. There you go. That's it. So I'm excited about when that's going to be released, but you're going to be seeing more about the mini packs. If you can support, that'll be awesome. If you know anyone else that is struggling, pass this on to them. Go ahead, take a picture of it, send it to them. Say, I just saw this chick. She's a little cray-cray, but she looks like she understands the stuff that I don't. All right. And then sometimes most crazy people are. All right. So that's basically what we're doing. Okay. The link is in my bio if you want to buy the mini pack. I completely rearranged everything, and the link is in my bio. And for anyone that wants to buy the notebooks, they're lowered their price because I want to really make room for these workbooks. So the Audrey's notes, they took a little dive with the pricing, so I can make it a little bit more reasonable for people, because I really want not only to get paid, because let's be truthful, I got to live somewhere. I got to keep the internet going. But I really want people to get over the fact that they feel that they can't do math, because you're passing this information over to your kids. That's why I'm starting to get a huge flux, because trust me, COVID screwed a lot of our kids up. And I know a lot of you guys were trying to get your GEDs like before COVID or even during COVID, and that just wasn't happening because, people couldn't pay attention. There was something like, I don't know, one person was alive and next thing you know, they're in ICU and all this other stuff. So, okay. Thank you, Genevieve, for the support. I appreciate that. Can you do a few GED problems? Actually, I did quite a few GED problems today. So I know like this number 11, that was definitely a GED problem. Then the breaking down the substitution for 12, that's a GED problem. So everyone thinks that it's all separate. It's still algebra, like no matter what. Okay. So where can you get the book? Right now, the book is not completely released, but you can get it from the A. And if you don't know what the A is, it's the brown box that smiles, where everybody orders from. So that should be releasing soon, especially the first book and the second book. I'm working on the third book right now to release that tonight, or to give it to Amazon. Give it to them tonight. But a lot of it, you can order it from the A or you can order it from me. But once it's officially launched, which will be next Saturday, I will let you guys know. I will actually put a publication in. But if you want the $5 mini pack, the link is in my bio. Okay, the link is in my bio, and this is all digital. Okay, so this is going to be immediate access. All right, so it's the books and all that stuff is going to be later. Okay. All right, so it is on its way. Remember an area and volume and all that. Yep. And the other thing that I did, because I knew a lot of people liked my notebooks because of the resources that I put in the back, I decided, I'm going to make that into one book. And I think a couple of you guys asked for that. So all of the formulas that I usually have in the back of my notebooks, I actually created a book for that. So then you'll get all the resources that you need for the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER is all going to be in one book. And then you'll have like flashcards and memory cards to help solidify that information. Okay, just in case you can't see me on lives, because we don't know what's going to happen with TikTok. There's another I think there's another possibility that they might be shutting it down. If they ever shut this down, go to YouTube. I said it once. Okay, that's where I'm going to be. Okay, but that's where you can go. So to buy the mini packs, you just go to the link in my bio. Yeah, until the good Lord takes me away, but at least this stuff will be around. And I'm trying to put it into the systems that you guys can buy it at any time. You can use stuff at any time. You don't have to, oh, I have to get a tutoring session. And that was the one thing that was wrong that I couldn't do, because everyone's time, they're either on different time zones, or it doesn't work because I currently have a client at that time and we just could not find the time to meet. Now you're going to have a system that you can just open up your book, scan the QR code, and then just sit and listen and learn. And it's lesser than what you would do for any kind of course. And you can watch it, you can replay it at any time. There's no expiration date. As long as you have the books, you have the information. Okay. So all you do, if you go to the link, Jacobs, if you go to the link in my bio, you just click on it. It takes you directly to the payment. And then at the thank you page, you'll see a link that will take you straight to the digital stuff. Okay, I tested it out, so it was working last time I checked. Okay, which one will be for Praxis? They're all for Praxis, especially for the intro level. Okay, no problem. Any other questions? Yeah. And especially like for Praxis 1. Because we're all trying to get like the basic math pieces of it. But it was always interesting and fun to put these together. Do you guys have any other questions? I'm going to start making some posts on these, and I'm probably going to take out an ad because I really want a lot of people, because there's some people that's not on my timeline and that can benefit from this. If you know of anybody that's getting their GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, maybe even the Praxis or the TEAS test or the HESI test, and they struggle with the algebra, just go ahead and pass my information on to them. I'm more than willing to talk to people to gather them into which direction. But I definitely want, and again, the link is in my bio, so you can have fun with it. Okay. All right. Well, I'll be coming on later today. I might, but I know I'm going to be doing a lot of recording because I want to really hit my my personal deadlines. But I might be coming on talking a little bit more about this and might be doing some more math. So to answer your question, Big Al, long, maybe. Maybe. Okay. All right. Okay. I know. Because now that lately it's just like, I really just want to get all this stuff done. Came with the books in the mail. This one, no. For the $5 mini pack, it's a digital. So it's instant access. But the workbooks, yes, you'll be able to get that in the mail. And you'll be able to order from the A or from me. Okay, obviously the A is going to be more expensive because of the convenience. And then ordering from me, I think it's like a week, like 7-day wait. Especially now it's after the holidays. It's not too bad. Yep. Yep, so the mini pack is going to be digital. But the workbooks is actually going to be books. And I will have the option of doing digital, but I think everybody really likes having a book. Because most of the people that are taking the ASVAB and the GED, we like having a book. You know? So for this, there's a link in my bio. You just have to click on the link in my bio, and it'll take you straight to the course. I do, but here's the thing, Sharon. A lot of people are just like, I really want to do that. So the workbooks is basically that course. I just put it in book form. Okay, so I just put that in book form. Because then some people, you're so welcome, because some people can't be dropping 200s, you know? And then I was thinking about that. So I'm trying to be considerate, but at the same time, like, I know that some people, that's the one thing. Let me back up. That's the one thing that drives me crazy about a lot of these textbooks. I wish I can reach that. It's like, because when I look at some of the ASVAB books and some of the GED books, just to kind of help people out, I'm just like, I just want the math section. I don't want the English. I don't want, I don't want the history. I don't want the science. I don't want anything else. I just want the math. And it's really hard to find a legit math program that will actually give you the option to have someone verbalize step by step. How did you get that answer? Especially if they give you the quiz or something at the back of the book. They always give you this detailed writing, but if you don't understand certain words, you miss, why are you subtracting the 4? Why am I, because they're using a term that I've never heard of. I don't know what it means. And it's just confusing. So that's why I wanted to add that option of, if you want me to break down how did I get number 1 from that sample test, let me show you step by step. Let me show you step by step how I got number 4. Let me show you step by step how I got that challenge problem. A lot of these books don't have that. And it's just a matter of like going on the QR codes, filling something out, and boom, you'll get access to it. So that's what I've been trying to do. Alrighty. All right. So as I say this, I'm going to go back to work because I still have a couple things I have to do for these workbooks. And I really want to make sure I give you guys a product that is going to be worthwhile. And I think it is. And plus, it'll be more economically friendly. Everyone's trying to get rich off of one person. You're like, dude, no. But yet you're going to try to speak to the masses. I never understood that. All right. So if anything, you can go to the link in my bio to see if you can get your $5 mini pack. Okay. Get yourself started for that GED and the ASVAB. So I know next time I'm going to try to see if I can find a smaller thing. But it is basically the precursor to the workbooks that are coming out next week. Remember, everyone's want to say, new year, new you. Hey, I say a new year, a better you. All right? You're still awesome. You're not going to completely change. We're just going to tweak. Okay? All right. Not a problem. Oh, thanks, Big Al. So I will see you guys possibly later. We'll see. But if not, definitely tomorrow. And I think tomorrow's at 3 o'clock if I am not mistaken. Yep, tomorrow's at 3 o'clock. All right. So I will see you soon. Be on the lookout for some ads. And if you can share my information to almost everybody, even if someone that's like, you know what? I might want to go back to school. Boom, give them this information. Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Take care, guys. Have a lovely day. And I'll talk with you soon. Bye.